Yep. What's going on, Doc?
What's going on? What's going on?
Uh, Listen, everybody. First of all, my name is Chris Allen. I got my co-host right there to the right of me, Mr. Maurice Murphy. We did have some little technical difficulties, I guess. Our guest tonight is traveling, and she closing some deals, and so she said she's gonna try to chime in while she's out there. So we're gonna see how tonight's gonna go. Maurice, you want to pay some bills real quick? You want to pay some bills?
Absolutely. Let's pay some bills to our newest partner, Miss is. Let's see. Let's get some bills paid here. Hold on 1 second. Let me get it figured out here. Let's get it going, and we'll pay some bills to Miss Mortgages by Linda. So Mortgages by Linda, I will go ahead and give you the spiel right after this.
Hi, I'm Linda Garcia with Mortgages by Linda. We have over 21 years of experience in the mortgage industry, and we work with 15 different wholesale lenders to get you the lowest interest rates. We provide excellent customer service and look forward to helping you with your mortgage. Click on the ad below to apply.
All right. That's our newest partner, Mortgages by Linda. You can reach her at 1-877 Team TEAMMBL, or you can reach her at mortgagesbylinda.com. Our newest partner, Miss Linda Garcia. Thank you so much, Linda.
Listen, first of all, Linda, we really appreciate you.
Absolutely.
Just seeing the vision, where we're going, and to have you as our first sponsor means truly a lot to us, and we don't take it lightly. So
absolutely.
Yeah. So listen, man, we
talk to me.
we got I guess she's traveling, so I don't even know if she's actually going to be able to make it or not.
Okay.
I think she's in Tennessee, in the backwoods of Tennessee, closing on some land and all that type of stuff. So but that's the journey of a real estate agent, though, right?
Absolutely, man. So she got licensed in Tennessee too?
Yeah, I think she's licensed in Tennessee as well.
Oh, that's what's up, man.
Yeah, but I think that she's actually doing an investment deal out there. So I think that's what she's working on, is an investment deal. I wanted her to get on here and kind of chime in and kind of let us know a little bit about what's going on. But yeah, she's an investor, and she's just doing some amazing things here in the Jacksonville, Florida area. So let's recap, man. Let's recap. We're on episode number 21.
Episode 21. Absolutely.
Yeah. Now, was that tonight's episode 21, or we've already done 21?
Episode is episode 21. Yes, sir.
Okay. So we've done 20 shows so far. We've done 20 episodes so far. We've had some amazing people on the show that's doing some amazing things here in Jacksonville, taking over the game. One of the things that somebody had mentioned to me, man, is they can't wait to get to the level of so-and-so and so-and-so, or I want to be like so-and-so and so-and-so.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to let them know, listen, there's only going to be one so and so. There's only going to be one of them. But you need to carve out your space and be the best you that you're going to be.
Absolutely.
You see what I'm saying? Because there's only going to be one Melissa Ricks. There's only going to be one Josh Rogers. There's only going to be one Maurice Murphy. There's only going to be one Jennifer Henry. You need to carve out your space in this industry and be the best you.
Absolutely.
That you're going to be.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So let's recap, man. Tell me, what do you think, over the last 20 shows, man, what do you think has really impacted you the most? Share some wisdom of things that you've kind of put into your arsenal based upon what you saw so far.
Well, I will say this. First off, thank you to all the guests who have been on the show thus far. And thank you to those who will be on the show coming up soon. I think the major thing that I have put in my arsenal, which I kind of had already, but it kind of solidified it once doing the show. I mean, mindset. I think the mind is a wonderful thing.
It's a terrible thing to lose.
What's the Bible say? How does a man think of? Yeah, I don't know the verse. You know what I'm saying?
Our man thinketh, so is he.
Absolutely. And I know that that's what all of these people share in common after doing this show for 20 episodes. they all had a mindset that it was either do or die. I'm either gonna make this thing or I'm gonna not make it happen, or it's gonna break me. So I mean, you listen to a lot of those stories, man, like proving people wrong, getting fired, you know, husband not having a job for 2.5 years, like
Right.
you know what I'm saying? Those impactful stories, like really cemented, like, okay, hey, I see where you are now, but that really told me that, hey, we're equal. Even though, I mean, we're all doing different things, but on a mind level, as long as I put my mind to it, I can knock it out of the park like you did,
Absolutely.
like some of our
Absolutely.
guests.
Well, listen, man. Listen. We got our guests here.
There we go.
I'm so excited about tonight's show. It's an absolute pleasure. Listen, I feel like I'm getting relaxed in my seat now. This young lady just brings that energy, man. And every time that I'm around her, I just get relaxed because to be in her presence, man, is just truly a joy. So it's an absolute pleasure tonight to introduce tonight's guest. Get ready to be truly inspired, y'all. Y'all need to get ready to be truly inspired. Grab you a pen, grab you a pad, grab you a little note. Whatever you're going to do to take notes, you need to do it. Join us tonight on the Real Talk podcast. We have a powerhouse in the world of real estate. I'm telling you, she's a remarkable advocate for our industry. She's an entrepreneur. She's going to talk about her investment opportunities that she's dealing with. And most of all, I think there's such a treasure to have a devoted mother of 3. You're going to hear about it tonight, y'all. We're going to go in tonight. She's truly a professional. She has a lot of professional achievements, nothing short of just astounding. She's been recognized as a top real estate agent in the state of Florida for not just 1, but 2 consecutive years, 2020 and 2021. She has over 6 years of experience in the real estate industry. She's a broker owner of Sunshine Realty and Company. She got about 16 agents over there on her squad. She has personally closed over $40 million in real estate in her career. Listen, y'all, she is doing her thing. And I'm truly honored to have her on our show tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Miss Ashley McDonald. There she is.
Thank you.
What's going on, lady?
There we
Hey,
go.
how you guys doing?
Good. How are you?
Amazing.
Chris got all my teeth showing. See, I ain't supposed to show all my teeth like this. You know what I'm saying? You
Show
got me
all-
smiling
show all the
hard
world.
right now.
Listen, you made it very, very easy to talk about you. I know you're
Thank
very, very
you.
humble. You keep it humble, which is
That's key.
which is a pleasure in itself.
Yes, thank you.
so-
Thank you.
Yeah, we are so excited she was able to get on here. I know you're traveling, doing some things, and we're gonna talk about that a little bit. So
Yes.
we're gonna talk about that. So go ahead, Miss Ashley McDonald. Go ahead and just kind of give us that backdrop. Give us that backdrop. Who is Ashley McDonald? Give us the start. Break it down for us.
Start and finish.
Yeah.
I am Ashley McDonald. I would say I'm the middle child of 5. My parents are Jamaican, so I was born in Evanston, Illinois.
Yeah, that work
right?
ethic. That's where that work ethic came from.
That's it.
Jamaican,
Hello.
y'all.
Look. Watch out now. Watch out.
What?
Yes. Opportunity is scarce in certain places in the world. So, when you get here, you're like, oh, you can do this? You can have this? Yeah. So it's definitely my mom emphasized taking pride in your work. Anything you put your name onto it give it 100%, so that played a major part. I'm a single parent of 3 children. I have 2 boys, 23 and 21-year-old. One of them is an electrician. He's in Las Vegas. He served in the military. Give it up for our veterans. Maurice, appreciate you. Yes. And then I have my youngest son. He's 21. He's a merchant seaman. He actually leaves out, I want to say in the next 2 weeks, the end of this month, he'll leave out. And he's been to Africa, Dubai. Neither one of my children really saw going to college as their route, even though I vetted them to go to college. And it was very disappointing when they was like, no, Ma, we don't want to do that. I was like, look, I'm looking at them like,
Right.
but then I had to remind myself I didn't go to college, right?
Right.
Mhm.
Okay.
But that's kind of like the American dream. You you get out of high school, you go to college, you could get establish a career that, you know, pays and takes care of your family. So it was an eventful experience because, you know, you vet your children up to go a certain path and then they kind of shift. So that was kind of, I had to be flexible. I had to, you know, shift my focus on what was important. You know, your children have to make their own route. But yeah, so for me as Ashley McDonald, as a broker owner of Sunshine Realty & Co., real estate has changed my life. It changed my family's life. Because anybody that knows how real estate works, you understand, like, it touches all facets of life. You know what I'm saying? When we deal with a deal, sometimes we're psychiatrists, we're financial advisors, marriage counselors, credit repair specialists, you know, you're the quarterback, you know, the running back, you know, we play all parts when it comes to getting a deal, a person from a renter to a homeowner, or having someone sell their home and transition into another direction or another part of the country or world. So it's been an eventful experience. I have sales background. I have collections background. But what I pride myself the most that I input or make that a very visible asset when it comes to my business is customer service. It's so important that you treat your customers right. It's so important that you treat them, make them first. I know we're transaction brokers, but you want to have a good reputation. You know what I'm saying? How you treat your customers and how you interact with your team plays a big part in what comes later. Are they going to refer customers to you? Is this agent going to want to do another listing with you? You know, so all that plays a part in how you deal with people. And so I always say real estate is a relationship business.
Absolutely.
That's always been my base. Yeah, that's always been my base. But I love real estate. It's been a game changer.
Good again. Say, okay, let's get into it. Maurice, you got your first one, brother.
I got my first one. So I want to go back before the $40 million, before the sunshine. Let's talk about that.
You about to make me cry. You want to go that far back?
We going back. We going now. Maurice will make you cry on the show. So if you got your pitch, listen, he didn't did it. We didn't have somebody on the show selling 900 homes, and she over here crying. I said, "Oh Lord!" I said, "Who am on this podcast with?" That's what I'm saying.
Hey man, that's why it's real talk, man. We get to the meat of it.
Real talk of real estate, baby.
Absolutely. So
I think
so tell us, like, okay, what was that first year like in real estate for you before the 40 million, before the broker owner? Tell us about, like, first off, tell us how you got into real estate. What was the draw to real estate?
I think she froze up first year for some reason. I think her phone. I think she froze up on us.
Did she freeze up?
Yeah. Ash.
All right, we got her with that big smile on her face right there.
She got that big smile. I'm like, she holding that smile for a long time, man.
I know.
Yeah, you got.
There we go. You know what? I might have to go to the back. Let me see if this works better.
Okay.
I left my dog outside anyway. Okay, so I'm sorry, Maurice. What was your question?
So I was asking. I wanted to go back to, like, what was the draw for you to get into real estate, and the second question was, what was that first year of real estate like?
So the draw for me was, believe it or not, I've had a few life-changing experiences. Raising two boys by myself when Trayvon Martin was murdered. Okay. It shook me, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm in my household, I'm doing everything I can. It's my sons, and when somebody's child is just taken like that, it really made me feel very helpless. So then I turned into doing activism, right? So I'm out there, no justice, no peace, no justice, no peace, walking, meeting, talking, right? Fast forward, it seemed like that I had to share, it wasn't sufficient enough to make much of an impact in that aspect of advocacy, right? Okay. So I crossed over into real estate. I decided to push financial empowerment. I feel like home ownership is like the strongest position you can take in life as far as improving yourself and your family and creating generational wealth. So that's what got me in real estate. Now, I didn't even know about the checks, you know, until I closed my first deal. And then I became a homeowner, right? You know, it goes back to how, you know, you bless others, you bless yourself, right? So that's how I got into real estate.
Gotcha.
And that was in what year? That was in
2017,
2016?
No. So I actually got my license in 2015, but, you know, I was a little timid, you know. I stayed at JEA. I decided to continue working at JEA until I couldn't work there anymore, and then I decided to cross over. So that took place like the beginning of 2016.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Yes.
And I think the second portion of your question, Maurice, was walk us through your first year.
Ooh, first year,
Yeah.
crying in the shower and
Yeah,
crying
that-
in the car.
Yeah,
Telling
that
myself,
one.
I ain't gonna be able to do it. Look. Yeah, it was very difficult. But one thing I realized is that it's a lot of things that you go through in life that prepares you for exactly what you need to do, right?
Mhm.
So when I first started real estate, my first thing was, you work your sphere. My
Mhm.
sphere, we had some credit challenges, you know, we had some pessimism. People weren't as excited about home ownership because we just came out of a market crash, and you're seeing your family members and friends losing their houses. So it was
Yeah.
a lot of resistance there. So I initially was just pushing doing rentals,
I
right?
got you.
And I was
Mm.
like, okay, let me help people become rental. Get their own housing situated, and I learned how to show houses doing rentals, etc. It wasn't until I started connecting with other realtors that were doing the type of business that I wanted to do. Shout out to Antoinette Jackson. The Jackson and Hardy, they played a powerful part into cultivating my business. They empowered me. They gave me they gave a different outlook. I was placed upon work that keyed into the importance of a healthy mindset, speaking life over your business. Affirmations, staying in position, because you'll have some deals. I've had deals where the deal that I actually closed wasn't because of that customer using me when they first brought it home. They used somebody else, but because I still was happy for them, that they still became a homeowner, and I still celebrated celebrated with them. They appreciated that. Now they're referring family and friends to me. So it's key to always make sure you don't put yourself in front of somebody's success or progress, because we all are out here just trying to figure it out. Keep your spirit in a good place. So but yeah.
You breaking up. Say that again now.
Wherever you were a little while ago, you was in the right spot.
It's kind of like
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, this is technical difficulties right here, but we're gonna get it together. Ashley, if you can hear us wherever you were a little while ago, go back to that spot. We can't hear you. Go back to the other spot, Ashley. Maurice, she said a couple things, man. I want to talk about. She was talking about the transaction that she had, Maurice, when she said that they used another agent.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's touch on that again. Let's touch on that.
Okay. Is she back? There she is.
There she
is it better now? I'm trying.
Yeah, I know. I see you trying. We see you trying.
Who you got for internet? T-Mobile or something? You must have been
Xfinity.
Oh Lord! I thought you had that little. I thought you was using that internet disc.
I'm over here in the
how they
woods,
used to
over
send
here
you them
by the
discs?
airport.
Remember how they used to send you them discs back in the day?
Yes. This is what happens when you say, "Hey, we're gonna make it happen. We're not giving up. We're gonna make this happen." Is it better now, though? Okay, perfect.
So
now you said you had a question.
Yeah. So tell us, like, how, like you said, the first year, that deal that the first transaction that you did, like, walk us through, like, how long did that deal take? How much production did you do in your first year? Those types of things.
So my production, my first year, I want to say I might have closed 8 transactions. In that first year. It was like 8 transactions. My first year, my first transaction that did close was with an investor, $15,000. I got like $1,200. I needed that 12 too. Okay. Right. It was and that was, I learned in that transaction, because I always tell agents, you will learn something different in every transaction. No transaction is the same, right? So in that transaction, that's where I learned about the what is that clause where you can put additional terms just in case someone overbids, but you put like a cap? Escalatory clause. I learned that, and that's how I learned that. I won that deal. I won that bid for my customer. But it was an investor. That investor ended up turning into my mentor that talked me off the bridge when I was about to quit, because I was literally about to quit. My funds was getting short. Well, no, it was short. bank
It
account was
wasn't
empty.
getting short. It was short.
It was short. Hey, let me trip you guys out. I'm just being real raw with everybody because there's somebody out here that might be going through this right now. Do not give up. You're gonna be tested, okay?
Mhm.
I had my son called and he was like, "Ma, the power's out." He said, "I think it's an outage." And I'm looking up. I'm like, "Look, the sky looked just like how it looked." I said, "An outage?" Look, because I'm literally right up the street. My office where I worked at was right up the street. So I'm like, I said, "Oh snap! That JA bill came through faster than I could put the money in." Right? So listen. So here it is. I called that investor that turned into my mentor. I called him and I'm like, "I can't do this no more. I'm gonna have to call JA back because I was a good worker. I'm gonna show up. I'm gonna be on time." You know what I'm saying? And so he was like, "What happened? What happened?" I was like, the check returned and they're gonna charge me a deposit. Cause see, I worked at JA, so I know. Hey, listen, if you have a bad check with JEA and your lights get cut off, expect the deposit. So I'm up here panicking. You know how we panic before it even happened. We like, "Oh Lord, now the bill, I'm gonna have to pay a deposit too." So I'm going through. I'm ready to quit. I'm like, I just want to get a job now. Look, you know what I'm saying? I can't do real estate anymore.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Is that the first time you wrote a bad check?" I was like, "No." Look. He was like, "So you say you going back to that place that you said that you weren't happy, you would park in the garage and then just call out because you were just miserable there. You're gonna go back there because your check bounced? I mean, because your lights got cut off?" And I was like, "No." So I'm sitting in the car outside of my office where other agents are. I'm sitting in there crying, like trying to pull it together because my lights have never been cut off. Now I'm feeling like a poor mom and everything. I'm feeling terrible. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so I go in the office and I end up running into another agent. And he shares how he was like, "Hey, I had one transaction where if the buyer wanted to see one more house, he didn't have enough gas to get back home. And it just so happened that house that they were at, they decided to put an offer in and said they didn't want to see anymore." So you're going to be tested, and it's going to be times where you want to quit. You know what I'm saying? But I'm telling you, every time that I decide not to quit, my business goes even further. After August of 2016, I started closing 2 deals a month. Then I started closing 4 deals a month. Then I started closing 6 deals a month. And the rest is history. You know what I'm saying? So I can't say enough. Like when you feel like you want to quit, that's when you're really being tested and something great is really happening, you know?
Right.
So that was
I have a question for you. Where did that tenacity come from? Like, have you always had that zeal for that dog in you? Like, I'm going in, you know, saying I may have to step back a little bit, but I got enough dog in me that I'm gonna see this thing through. Where did that come from?
You know, I think I would say because I've always been competitive. I was a tomboy straight up. Like, yeah.
Okay.
If my brother was doing, I'm trying to do it too. You know, like I ran track, I played tennis. So then I also I give it to my mom. My mom was great. My mom came from Jamaica, nut. I mean, came from like we literally were just crazy. You know what I'm saying? And now my mom, she owns multiple properties. She's a RN. She's over certain departments and Shands. So like when you look back at the people before you and you see that they didn't quit, you know what I'm saying? And you see how they push through stuff. It's kind of hard for you to be like, you wanting to give up and stop. So I would say I saw it at an early age. It was taught to me. And I've also experienced the benefit of having a tenacious spirit, you know?
There you go.
If that answers your question.
It does. When you first got in, I know you got a question mark.
No, go ahead.
When you first got into the industry, and I'm asking you this, I know you talked about your mentor. Was he the one that you looked to, that you saw a level of success that you knew this industry could take you to? Or was there someone else that you looked to that you said, that's the level right there?
Well, you know, Chris, because real estate is so like vast, you know, like you could go on the investing side, you go on the new construction side. To be honest, I was very fortunate to touch all sides of it. I've connected with people that are thriving in new construction on the investing side. The first time home buyers, that was more so connected with my push, you know, I felt like my purpose when it came to real estate was. So Antoinette Jackson, you know, along with Art Thomas, you know, he's a tight ship. He definitely knows his stuff. And some of the names that I care to mention, but I was up under a broker that really allowed you to see past your moment, past your current situation, and also gave you certain tools to empower not your business, because anybody can give you a deal and say, hey, go get this money.
Yeah.
But when you have your mind right, when you know what to look for and how to move in life and business, it was certain platforms at that company that not only helped me with my business, but with my life. Your life got to be right to thrive in real estate, else it will not be consistent. You know what I'm saying? You have to really become a better person, right? So to be honest, it was and then my closest friend, Felicia Mitchell. Look, I told Felicia, Felicia Mitchell, yes, she's a beast. She's an encyclopedia of real estate. Chris, what's in that red cup? What's in that red cup? Now, see, you supposed to
don't worry about this. It's number some lemonade. It's lemonade. It's too early now. It's too early.
We supposed to be sipping and sharing, okay?
Listen, I'm just trying to keep my throat, from talking.
No, but Felicia Mitchell, she's very knowledgeable from the investing. She's a beast at the investor side. Crossing over into developing new construction. So she was a beast. When I first got in real estate, I was like, girl, you didn't tell me it was this much work. You think it's just like, hey, show a house and this. No, it is work in real estate. That's why it's not built for the weak. And that's why I think 20% of us actually thrive in our career or even close a deal. So I would say it's a long list. And I hate to start saying names because I don't want to leave anybody off, but it's a lot of people played a part in me really finding my way through real estate.
Mm-hmm. So let me ask you this, Ashley. So I hear a lot of people that come on the show say that they had a plan. Some people have plans where they have a 9-to-5 and then they transition to real estate. Some people just say, forget it, I'm just going to quit my job and go full off into real estate. Which way did you approach real estate when you had the job at JEA?
I was pushed. Look, I was pushed. They was like, hey, you got to go. And I was like,
so wait a minute. So you got fired at JEA.
Hello. Well, you don't have to say it like that. That was like, your services are no longer needed.
We don't know no other way to say it around here.
I was pushed, but before I got pushed, I know I wasn't operating to the level. And that's what they even said when they let me go. They was like, you're not even the same person. You're not really here, Ashley. We don't know what you want. It was still love when we parted ways. You know what I'm saying? But I was miserable. I would pull up. I literally would park in the garage and then call out. You know what I'm saying? Because my spirit just wasn't set there. I need to find my way. So they really did me a favor. I've made a post before. I'm like, sometimes the very thing you want to cry and complain about is really for your good.
Good.
Yeah, really before your good. So that was for my good, but it didn't feel like it. It didn't feel like it. So no, I didn't have a plan, but I had to get one. Yeah, I had to get one. I definitely don't recommend anyone to establish any type of entrepreneur business without having a business plan. And kudos to Felicia Mitchell. She didn't really have much time for me when I first got in real estate because she was busy, but she did emphasize the importance of a business plan. You want to have an idea of how much money you want to make. What type of clients you want to serve. What's your strategy on connecting with those type of clients. So that was definitely important, a business plan.
Gotcha.
That's good.
Go ahead, Chris.
Here's a question for you. So we have a question that says, as a realtor's hours are anything but traditional.
Hello.
How important has work-life balance been to you, and how have you achieved it, given your non-traditional schedule?
My God.
That's a good one.
It's to be honest, I've had good seasons and some low seasons. For me being I'm a parent, I'm also a same parent. And then I'm also connected in the community with different organizations. So sometimes, depending on what's going on in all those different areas, sometimes that schedule can get thrown off slightly, But me personally, I believe in that saying, you win the morning, you win the day, right?
Right.
So if I start my morning off right, the things that you need to do just for your health, your hygiene, your mindset, I pretty much am able to maintain it from there. I know it's a guy that I used to follow when I first got in real estate, the Get S Done, the GSD. Y'all ever heard of him? Joshua?
Yes.
I love him. I was on YouTube University when I first got it. I was scared to knock on the door until, my mentor, he pushed me, right? But what he emphasized is, because he almost lost his family, his health, and etc. And I almost, I was getting dehydrated. I wasn't eating, like I was supposed to. I was just chasing, going from one deal to the next. But he emphasized the importance of if it's not on your schedule, it does not exist. And that's the advice I would give to anyone that's trying to maintain a healthy schedule and a healthy balance, is to find a way to prioritize your life, but also make sure that you keep those boundaries in place so that you don't find yourself all over the place. Because real estate will already have you that way.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
Since we're already there, walk us through your day. Walk us through when you wake up, what time you getting up, what time you starting your day.
Yeah.
Walk us through it.
So as a broker or sales agent, it's different. Hello, it's different now.
Okay. Break it down for us.
So which one would you like to hear?
As an agent.
So
yes.
As an agent, what I did, me personally, I woke up at 5 o'clock. 5 o'clock because I needed to kind of have some time. I used to write down my affirmations, as far as this was my saying: successful is she closing 4 deals monthly. And I was closing 4 deals monthly. I made that a practice. As soon as my feet hit the ground, that's what I'm saying, right? I had certain people motivational speakers that I listened to, from Abraham Hicks. I don't know if you guys are familiar with her.
I'm with it every morning, baby.
Listen.
You gotta get to that vortex.
Listen. And then, I love TD Jakes. Les Brown was at the beginning of my career. Of course, I like to tune into Steve Harvey at that time at 6 o'clock in the morning, working out. I think it's important that you look good, and you feel good about how you look. So, I made it a habit to look good, do a little workout. Before COVID, I would go to the gym, and then slowly but surely, I have a little small gym at my house. And the importance, I like to drink tea in the morning. Because it helps. I talk a lot, so it's good for your vocal. Clear all that out. Drink something hot in the morning. Stuff like that. And then by 8 o'clock, you eat your breakfast and whatnot. But by 8 o'clock, I'm trying to check in. Oh, look at Jackie Thompson. Be real.
Be real.
How did Jackie do that?
That's all I can do. Jackie. Trust Jackie. Okay. Yeah, but by 8 o'clock, I'm pretty much trying to look at what do I need? What's my priorities? I look at priorities. So some people have that routine, but I look at priorities first. I got to check my priorities, because before you know it, your day will take over and you'll be like, dang, I didn't check this box. So I like to do objectives and priorities. That's kind of it. I used to try to do the schedule where you would say, hey, I'm going to follow my sellers between this time and that time. That didn't so much work for me. I need a little bit more flexibility. Not to say that it's not a good tactic, but it just didn't work for me. My day is more so scheduled by priorities and objectives.
Okay.
Gotcha.
And so you started that around 8, 9 o'clock or whatever. And then what time do you usually end your day?
So depending on what I have going on. So if I'm pushing like a seminar, or if I'm pushing some extra events, it's going to be a late night, right?
Okay.
If I'm doing showings, if I've been out showing properties and I got to put in several offers, it's going to be a late night, right? Fast forward the last 2 years prior to getting my broker's license, I implemented a showing assistant. That gave me some life. I was able to get a little me time, right? So yeah, but it's definitely important when you find yourself working from 5 in the morning to 10 o'clock midnight. You definitely need to start scaling your business and start outsourcing some of the things that you have on your plate. So mine was the showing assistant. I decided, hey, let me go ahead and hire a showing assistant to show the properties. That allowed me to stay home with my children, stay home and cultivate my business better. So that was the things that I did to kind of help my business. I tried to tap into an assistant, but it's hard. Good help is hard to find. It's just, especially when you don't have certain processes in place for them to just step in and flow. So it's important, everything that you do, to go ahead and itemize what you're doing. So when you do decide to get a virtual or actual assistant, they already have the steps versus them watching you create the steps. And that was my burden when I was doing the real estate, and still, even to this day.
Good stuff.
Gotcha. So now you're a broker owner. So what were the things that made you decide to become a broker owner?
It was quite a few things. I went to Jamaica in 2021. To see my granny. My granny's in Jamaica. She built a house all the way up in the mountains, Maroon Town. It's a story behind, y'all look that up. So we some soldiers, okay?
Okay.
Look, so but in either case, so she built a house there, and so we decided to stay there for Christmas. And so when in Jamaica, there's no cable, you know. We're thankful to have AC eventually, you know. However, you have a lot of time to look over your life. And so when I looked over my life, you know, I keep a spreadsheet of my deals. I don't just keep track of how much money I make, but I'm keeping track of where all the money is going. So, because you know, remember, I'm outsourcing my deals now. I'm paying a showing assistant. I might have deals that's being referred to me, et cetera, et cetera. And when I saw, and now I'm starting to get into investing, when I saw that the money I'm paying, you know, my broker was the amount I needed for this investment property, you know, to renovate it, I was like, you know, I was starting like, hey, you know, the numbers ain't making sense. You know what I'm saying? Especially when I'm not really getting the benefit to justify that amount. You understand? So that's what made me shift. And then it was some certain situations that took place to where I was like, it was just time. I had a group of my sphere that was also saying, hey, Ashley, it's time. You need to do this. We need you. Hence the reason I have not even recruited. I haven't even started any type of recruiting.
Gotcha.
The people the 16 agents I have with me right now are all just off people that know me, you know, that want to connect and build with me.
Got you. So can you share any of those circumstances that happen? Can you share that with our audience? Or no, that's too much.
It's a lot. It's a lot because the love is real. It's still sensitive space for me, you know.
Okay.
Yeah. The love is real. Yeah. So I really, I don't feel comfortable.
That's fine.
Hey, but you know me, I'm
maybe
gonna
on
ask the
episode
question.
2.
I'm gonna ask the question, but go ahead.
Let's go. You're man. Listen, you are successful now in your own right. You have built an amazing business. It's completely different from that 2015, 2016 year old young lady that got into the industry.
Yes.
What would you go back, knowing what you know now? What would you go back and tell that person?
Knowing what I know now, I would definitely go into the business with an eye and an understanding to create the business for you to be a part of the business. You know what I'm saying? You can't stay in your business and grow, if that makes sense. I.e., how I was saying, like, okay, you will eventually need an assistant. But if you don't have processes set up, if you don't have, like, if you're not itemizing and outlining every step that you take when you do certain tasks to go ahead and pass that baton to somebody without having to take up a whole week of training, all they need to do is look at that manual. You're setting yourself to be handcuffed to your business. And that's not what that's not what business owners are supposed to do. So new me would definitely understand the importance of process and systems. That's what I would definitely say will be the difference.
Okay.
Where do you see yourself now growing in the next 5, 10, 15 years?
Well, I definitely, some great things are happening. You know, I'm just coming from South Carolina, working on some developing. I was blessed to connect with UTM Homes, Travis Moss, with his affordable housing push, because there's such a need right here, right now. There's a lot of opportunities for us, right? And so I'm just literally coming back from South Carolina, connecting with some developers and builders, as well as funders, not capitalists, but funders. We'll say that, yeah. And in reference to a big project in South Carolina. And then, you know, just pertaining to real estate, because it's so vast, it's kind of like you have to really just take it a teaspoon at a time, because it can get overwhelming. So for me, I see Sunshine Realty. My vision for Sunshine Realty and Co is the emphasis, is because it's going to be bigger than just a real estate company. You know, I definitely want to cross some bars. I want to be of service not only to the community but to the professionals. Hence the reason I started just last month, where we're doing the SME, the subject matter experts. They come through and pour into us, give us some tips and some things to know, so that we can either better serve our customer and protect our customers. The one we did last week, not last week, but August 30th or 31st, I believe, was commercial. And, you know, it was a lot of things that was shared that, you know, residential and commercial, you know, of course, you don't need a separate license, but you definitely need a stronger knowledge base.
Right.
It's not as protected. It's not as easily to access. And so him coming through and just giving us those tidbits really played a part in people knowing at least how to better serve a commercial deal. I feel like for instance, we have, I'm not sure, Maurice and Alan, Chris, are you guys from Jacksonville?
No.
Okay, so let me just tell you, I wasn't born here, but I'm from here. I was raised here, right? So there's this restaurant that was on the north side, had the best seafood, right? And they had this building, but they never owned it. Fast forward, the owner ends up selling it to someone else. This business now, Black-owned business, is this place. I believe they're back in a food truck. But, we commonly hear where homeowners say, I've been wanting to buy a house, I just don't know where to start, right? Mm-hmm. But the same applies to business owners. A lot of them want to buy the brick and mortar, but they just don't know where to start.
Right.
But so it's on us to educate those people so that they can make those business plans and get in position. So that's just one of the reasons why I wanted to push doing the SMEs coming through monthly to pour into us. This month, September 28th, we're doing as far as tax protection, showing you guys, or showing us, because I need it too, because they got me. That's one thing we need to talk about. Them damn taxes. When you start making money,
right.
You need to make sure you set your stuff up properly. Yeah, so tax protection, the best ways. That's on the 28th. We'll be pushing that, and I'll share that with you guys. So hopefully you guys can push it to your audience.
It out there. Absolutely.
But yeah.
We absolutely do.
So I want to go back just a little bit. So you talked about being a broker owner. You talked about some of the things you've dealt with, not being able to find an assistant, and some of the process and things in place. So what would you say, other than those two, are your biggest challenges being a broker owner?
Okay, other than the systems and processes?
Yes, absolutely.
For me, because, sunshine is all about me being positive and optimistic and, seeing the brighter side, and, know, we're going to see our way through. And so in some situations, it's you have to find a way to navigate through where you might not be sunshine. It might get a little hot. Them rays might burn you up a little bit, because not only you're wanting to protect your agent, but you have to protect what you're building, So that's been a process for me, transitioning from being, pat on the back to, hey, pat on your hand,
Right.
So that's been a process for me. And I guess the other thing would probably be trust, being able to trust, because you can't do it by yourself.
Gotcha.
You can't. So you have to allow yourself to trust people that you work around and that you're building with, so that you can move forward and move further, together. So that would be the best, being able to manage my personality and having to adjust when needed, as well as trusting who I'm building with.
Got you. So what I hear you saying is, and just correct me if I'm wrong, you've kind of, like most people who are very A-type, they want to control and handle everything, but they understand that in order to scale, they need to trust those or empower those people around them to help grow that business. Okay,
that's so important. You'll drive yourself crazy. And then not only that, you'll miss opportunities. I feel like true leadership is when you create more leaders. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's true leaders. If you're out here and you're just delegating and telling, but you're not empowering other people to grow as well, then you're not a leader. You know what I'm saying? You just like to tell people what to do.
Wow, that's good. That's good. When you look at, listen, you're doing your thing, you're hugely successful. People come to you all the time, and I know they want to know advice. Ashley, how do you do this thing? When you look at the industry and the folk that's doing their thing, people coming in, they need help. What do you think the biggest pitfall, downfall, what do you think it is that's actually stopping them from getting to that next level?
I think the biggest thing will always be, it's always going to be a reason to quit. But you just can't. You got to adjust, I think that's the biggest thing. And I think fear also keeps a lot of people in the same spot, because, when you don't know what's around that corner, you're scared to turn, especially when you got mouths depending on you. You know what I'm saying? You got a lot of people looking at you, and you don't want to see you don't want a lot of people to see you fail, right? So you sometimes we operate in fear. And then, I'm a spiritual person. I feel like faith of a mustard seed, you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
You
That's
know,
good.
Yeah.
goes a long way. You know, it goes a long way. And then focus. That's why I always say fearless, focused, and faithful. That's my mantra that pushed me through my business. Like fearless, you got to be fearless. You got to just go. You got to be focused. There's going to be a lot of distractions. Some of them self-implemented, sometimes your own family, you know, and your friends, you know, and sometimes the world. Like with me being an advocate or / activist, some, you know, because it gets very emotional when you see certain things happening to, you know, your community, you know, but but I've decided what my post is. This is the base that I'm servicing. I'm focused on this part. This is the part I'm playing to make my world, make the situation better for the people that's coming behind me, you know. And you got to hold on to your faith. Whatever you believe in, I'm not, you know, Baptist, whatever, that doesn't matter to me. You got to just believe in something bigger than you. It has to be bigger than you.
Right.
Yeah.
Got you. So let me ask you something, Ashley. So you mentioned something I really want to touch on. You talk about fear, and fear seems to be a very crippling thing for a lot of people, especially in this real estate business. So you had someone pushing you, a mentor helping you, but what are you doing to help those agents that you see they're not fearless, they're very fearful, and they don't know, okay, what do I do next? Or they're scared to do this, or they're scared to do anything, and it really cripples them to do nothing. What advice are you giving to those folks?
You know, some would probably be embarrassed about talking about how their power was cut off, you know, and how they was crying in the shower, crying in the car, ready to quit. They lost their job. I try to be as authentic and raw as possible.
That's it.
You know, I try to be as genuine. So because I'm speaking from love, you know what I'm saying? I don't care what color, race, whatever the case is. My push is for my community. However, people are people. I want us all to fly. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So when it comes to dealing with my agents or anybody that's around me, anyone that knows me, I'm going to encourage you, but I'm also going to call you out if you're on some foolishness.
Right.
Sometimes you have to deal with it. You have to have those uncomfortable conversations. And I think that's where love really is. Because anybody can love you when it's easy, right? When everything going well, hey, I love you to death. But when things ugly, can you love me enough to have that uncomfortable conversation and take the time out to really say, hey, listen, sis, you know, your business isn't thriving because you're not focused. What's your daily habits? You know what I'm saying? Your business isn't thriving because what seeds are you sowing into your community, into your business for it to even multiply or grow? Like you have to have those uncomfortable conversations.
That's good. That's good. Okay. I want to ask a question real quick. Aaron Shute, I believe I'm saying it right. Aaron Shute wants to know, what do you do to stay up to date and educated with changes and trends in our industry? That's number one. Is it reading? Is it conferences? Is it seminars? Or is it a combination of everything?
It's all the above, Aaron. All the above. So me personally, I would get up. I like to read the Florida Realtor. I love that one. And then, you know, we get those emails, of course. And then, you know, what I had to do, because I'm no longer so much in the business, I'm more so managing the business from the broker side. I made part of our meetings, our weekly meetings, where we do market updates. So it required me to make calls. Like I like to talk to the people that's in the business. So I'm calling my lenders. You know, I'm talking to the agents to kind of get a real up to date on what's taking place with the market, right? That's that. But conferences, you can't go wrong. Conferences not only give you the update and the insight about the market, but you're building relationships with other people that have a different point of view, or they might be in a different market to kind of give you an idea. I remember when I had my rental property, I started noticing, because, you know, this is your emails will tell you when the market's changing, right? Remember in 2022, everything was highest and best, or, you know, we got 24, sorry, now the bugs are coming, y'all. We got 24, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I think I'm gonna lose you if I go in this car. I mean, in this house, but I might have to go in my car. But in either case, yeah, so remember when the market had changed, you know, the market was extremely high, but then earlier this year, we started seeing emails saying, hey, price adjustment, price reduction, right? Y'all remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember
exactly. So right around that same time, I had a rental, I had an investment property that was turning into a whole, but it was going through renovation. I didn't do financing. I had all my money tied up into it, right? So here it is. I'm seeing this, and you know that's affecting how much money I'm be able to pull out of the property. So now I'm up here like, hey, y'all need to hurry up and get this property done. Hold on. Hurry up and get this property
Listen, y'all,
done.
this is live. This is live right here tonight on Real Talk of Real Estate. We keeping it 100. We keeping it raw and authentic. We didn't walk through this whole lady house. We didn't walk through the house, the garage, the backyard.
Look. I'm trying to say, well, I'm trying to make it happen. The respect is real for Chris and Maurice. You guys are doing good work.
Thank you so much.
Connecting dots, you know what I'm saying? Having these conversations that need to be had. So I'm definitely going to do my part to make it happen, okay?
Good stuff.
Absolutely. Appreciate you so much.
There we go. No, but so back to Aaron's question. The emails itself kind of gives you an idea of what's taking place with the market, right? Because you start getting those price adjustments. Now, what the tie-in to what I'm saying is, so, you know, my property was on the north side. And so I'm like, dang, when they appraised it like $25,000 less than what I thought I was going to get, right? Fast forward. So here's my conversation. Hey, listen, you're looking at about a $20,000 to $50,000 adjustment as far as the value in properties. Just based off of my experience, the appraisers are now not doing 6 months. They were doing 3 months. And I think they're still doing 3 months because the market was shifting, right? So some things you will only learn based on experience. But if you want to stretch your understanding and your reach, you have to connect with real estate professionals because that will in places. So it's kind of like those are the things that I appreciate about a conference. If that makes sense.
Absolutely.
Gotcha. That makes sense.
You're breaking up a little bit, so I don't know if you're in a bad spot, but we're gonna make it work.
Yeah.
You're doing this. Thank you for just doing your thing.
Absolutely. Appreciate you so much.
Absolutely. We were talking about training earlier, and Maurice was talking about because you talked about you equated it to focus, right? When you talk about you're just not focused. Out of all the things that's going on in this world, in our industry, it's forever evolving and changing. Escalatory clauses, and we got to do this and we do this. People want you to buy this program and they want you to do this.
Yes.
Right. So how do you stay so focused? Because ever since I've known you, and I've known you when you first, I think we had a deal together. 2015, 2016. I think you were just probably getting into the industry, right?
We made it through.
Yeah. But even then, I was telling my friend back then, my business partner, I said, this girl is extremely focused because I didn't even know at that particular time that you were actually a new agent. Yeah. But your focus and your integrity and the way you carried it made you seem like a seasoned veteran in the game.
Oh, thanks.
Where did that come from, and how do you maintain that focus to get it done?
I would say that's it's several things that played a part. One, I got pushed out there. JA was like, all right, figure it out. You got to go. Right. Yeah. And then I had 6 eyes looking at me, so I had to figure this out. So that played a big part. And my mom, I can't express enough gratitude for my mom for instilling in me the importance of taking pride in your work. You know what I'm saying? Like she did not play about that. You clean the mirror, you better clean it right. That's just how she raised us. And so that played a big part. And then 2, I genuinely just love real estate. Like it changed my life. I mean, to see, I've cultivated relationships with people I would have never met or even spoken to because I'm in real estate. That particular transaction, I fell in love with the seller. She used to own a gas station. She ran into some bad luck, got a divorce. And, we hear it a lot, in real estate, people go through some type of hardship. And so when that deal was kind of falling apart, it's kind of, you start again, it's, it has to be bigger than you. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. When you don't make it about you, you perform way better. When you understand that, hey, it's not just affecting you. Yeah, you might not get your check, but we also have 2 households, 2 families is going to be affected. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I didn't know Chris needed that for his I'm trying to say something funny, Chris.
Listen, I'm the first one. Ashley kept that doggone deal together. I was about to box. I'm gonna go to blows. Maurice, I'm riding out. I'm like, hell with this deal.
Yes.
I'm supposed to be the seasoned veteran. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Bump you.
Yes. it was a try and true deal, but we persevered. You got to have some perseverance in you, right?
Absolutely.
We made it through. And those customers, matter of fact, that customer actually brought me a scarf. I still see your customer every now and then, her and her family. So, you know, it's a relationship business, you know. But I would say focus, the biggest part of focus is how I was raised, my responsibilities, and then also the love for people, you know, just loving to bring everything together.
Got you. So I want to ask you one more question before we wrap this up. I know we're getting ready to wrap it up here shortly, but I want to ask this. So you're known as a Sunshine Realtor. You have a very bright personality. You're very authentic and always smiling.
Absolutely.
And we talked about back when JA let you go, and then we also talked about where JA even cut, you know.
Yes, right. They got their lick back.
You think that firing had anything to do with them seeing that thing when they had cut them lights off?
Yeah. I didn't want to say that, but hey, that's what it was.
Like you don't even work there no more. Cut them lights off.
Yeah. So you've gone through a season of a lot of things that have happened in your life. Now that you're on the other side of that, things still happen because that's just life, and that's how things are. So what are you doing? I know you got the faith and the focus and everything else, but when it hits the fan, what are you telling yourself? Okay, because things just fall apart sometimes to where you're like, oh my God, what is going on? You look up and you're like, God, what's really going on here? Like things are just
trust. Yeah. So I would say for me is, you know how they say, remember where you come from? And some people associate that with, you know, your hood and all that. No, I associate that the things I've overcome. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, so I'm going to remind myself of, I know this place. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And so I know when I've had this happen before, it might not have the same narrative, but it had the similar feeling, what I needed to do. And I had to push, you know?
That's good, actually.
Yeah, I had to push. Yeah.
That's good.
And you know, because you're going to be tested. Here's one story I'll share with you guys. I'm giving all my business, but I ain't giving you everything. So you know, us parents, whether you're a single parent or not, raising teenagers can be a try and true experience, right? And so right before I was actually studying, I took the class for my broker's license, and now I'm getting ready to take my exam. The day before my exam, my son, you know, we had a whole episode, right? And everything in me was saying, hey, push this back, you know, but you know, I decided to push, and I passed that test the first time. And I don't even, to this day, I'm like, wow, you know, it must just, you know. And so I say all that to say, it's like, again, you're going to have experiences that shake you to the core, make you doubt yourself, make you doubt your position, make you feel like you need to go another way. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't. I'm just saying, just know that you should never quit. Just adjust.
Wow.
Gotcha. Absolutely.
Speaking of quitting, how many times, real talk now, and I know we're going to wrap it up, Maurice.
Go ahead.
How many times in your career early on have you thought, what the hell am I doing? I'm not supposed to be doing this. What you say this morning?
Hey, look, listen, I was just telling somebody about the brokerage. I was like, you know what? So I opened up the brokerage May of last year, but I'm being honest. You know, those checks don't look the same on the broker side, you know?
Hold on. What do you mean? You're the owner. How does the check not look the same?
No, the checks.
Now,
hey, you got
keep it funky now.
Listen.
Talk to us about that, because I want to know
you
how
start
the check
blinking.
look the same.
You start thinking, man, you know what? Maybe I just need to be back a broker associate, you know, and make these things. Because them checks look totally different on the broker side. However, you know, I have been blessed, and I've learned so much. And even just with the agents I've had some agents that come from other brokerages that have never closed a deal, and they're thriving now. You know what I'm saying? So I know I'm doing something right. But to be honest, I started in May, but I really didn't buy in until this year. So it took, yes, sir. Wow. It took a second. Yeah, it took a second.
Because were you still thinking mentally as a agent as opposed to the broker? Is that what? So
I wouldn't say. I mean, I guess you could say thinking. I think the appreciation for the side being an agent. You know, it's you don't have as much. You have responsibilities as an agent, but the responsibilities as a broker is totally different, right? The money, especially when you start a business, you have way more going out. So I was back to square one times 100, with the expenses, you know, and then also the money that's coming in, you know, when I was an agent, money coming in, I'm like, oh, I'm rich. Look, you know, now I'm like,
Right.
oh, I can pay that with that, you know. Like,
Okay.
There go that. I can pay a light bill with this thing. I can pay the lights on now.
exactly.
Yeah.
So, you know,
Okay.
so
that water cooler bill will get paid now.
I had to mentally transition as far as like how I was looking at real estate and business and my outlook on like your why. You know, it goes back to your why. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Why did I even decide to make that? Because if you don't have a why, the money and the aggravation will have you questioning everything, you know?
Yeah.
So that's really my why got strong enough this year to where I was like, this is it. I'm doing this.
Gotcha.
And we're going to do it big, right?
I love it.
Got you.
Well, listen, man.
Hey, before we wrap it up, man, let's pay some
Let's
bills
pay
real
bill?
quick.
Okay.
And then we're gonna wrap up
Let's pay
today's
some bills around here. Let's pay some bills.
Hi, I'm Linda Garcia with Mortgages by Linda. We have over 21 years of experience in the mortgage industry, and we work with 15 different wholesale lenders to get you the lowest interest rates. We provide excellent customer service and look forward to helping you with your mortgage. Click on the ad below to apply.
So that's our new sponsor, Mortgages
Nice.
by Lender. You can reach her at 1-877-TEAM-MBL or at mortgagesbylender.com. So definitely reach out to her if you need any lender services.
I like it. Look at y'all got the sponsors
Listen.
and stuff.
Hey, we legit now. We legit with it.
You thought we were playing.
The growth is real.
This ain't no joke. Hey, just
I
a couple
love
things before we do it. Jackie Boy wants to let you know. No, Angie Lawson said you the best of the best. Jackie Boy said thumbs up. Jackie Boy said we got to do better. That's my girl. Sarah said 100%. Angie Lawson, that part. Sarah, 100%. Jackie Boyd again. That girl is on fire. I would assume that you and Jackie Boyd are close. Is that what I'm understanding?
Oh yeah, I love her. Listen, she's a beast too. Okay, trust Jackie. Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
She is a beast.
Well, listen.
You as well.
We really
Thank
appreciate
you.
you, Ashley, just coming over here and gracing us. I know that you made it happen. I know we talked earlier. You said that you was gonna have some difficulties with the travel and all that. But the fact that you did everything you could to make it on the show, it definitely does not go unnoticed. We really appreciate that. Go ahead and really just give the people the final words of encouragement. Anything that you want to share to the audience, some encouragement, whatever you want to say. The floor is yours.
Okay. Well, I would say to all my real estate professionals / partners, we're in this together. You know, the way we operate with our transactions and with each other reflects so much, not only on us as individuals, but as our industry. And, you know, we have a lot of things that's trying to come in and minimize the roles that we play. So we definitely have to make sure we work together and make sure we solidify our position and our value in the business. And most importantly is don't give up. You know what I'm saying? Like I can't express it enough. Like real estate is not for the weak. But it's so rewarding when you see it through. Connect with like-minded individuals. Just be a solutionary. Connect with people that's either operating the way you would like or in the spaces that you would like, and cultivate a relationship. And most importantly, speak life over your business because, hey, you know, it's power in the tongue. You know, it makes you feel better. You look at your outlook is a whole lot better. And, you know, if you can't catch it, if you don't see it, right? So, just stay positive, stay up. Let's get it.
Absolutely.
Well, listen, Ashley, again, we really appreciate you taking the time, coming on here, doing your thing.
Yes.
You kept it 100% as always, and you know, full of laughs, full of joy. Keep smiling, keep doing your thing. We're so very proud of you, my sister.
Thank you so much.
Everything that you're doing in the game. All right.
Oh, thank you both. You guys.
You representing at a high level.
Oh,
thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And trust me, the feeling is mutual. I love the fact that you guys have kept. See, the thing is that you could start something, but to be consistent, you know, that's the cream of the crop right there. You know what I'm saying? So y'all keep doing what you're doing, okay? And I'm here to support. You guys let me know anytime.
Appreciate you. Appreciate you.
To be blessed now, okay?
Likewise. Thanks again.
Thank you.
Bye.
All right, Chris. Hey man, you want to Man, that was an amazing interview. Shout out to Ashley McDonald. I mean, bro, we've never had a show like that where somebody just couldn't get the reception. She just kept doing her thing to make it happen. Like
Man.
the commitment for that, man. I feel honored. You know what I'm saying? First off, to have on the show.
Yeah.
2, for her commitment to make sure she got the reception right.
Yeah.
And she just walked outside, walked back through the house again,
yeah.
walked in the cul-de-sac, walked back in the house, walked to the car. Like, that's some commitment right there.
Commitment.
I appreciate that, man.
Man, listen. And
absolutely, man.
Bugs out there, she's swatting the bugs and hitting them. But
come on, man.
She stayed true to it to make sure, and she just kept flowing, flowing.
Absolutely.
It shows her commitment to the game.
Yep.
And it definitely does not go unnoticed. So,
absolutely.
Man, we got a couple things. I know we're gonna be back next week. Do we got anything that you want to announce? Anything happening between now and next Tuesday?
Absolutely. So, hey, realtors are watching out there. We got an event September 20th, and it's a really powerful event. You don't want to miss it. Why is homeowners insurance so high? We all know that with everything that's going on in Florida right now, you definitely don't want to miss this information, and so you can explain to your customers why is insurance so high. This will be a great interview. I mean, a great time for you to come out, learn why the insurance rates in Florida, and also learn why a lot of insurance companies are leaving the state of Florida and why the insurance rates are so high. So definitely come out September 20th, 11:30 to 1. We're going to be at Dream Finders out on Phillips Highway in their meeting room at the 3rd floor.
I guess they can get it at a couple different locations. I know it's going to be on my page. It's going to be on your page. We'll probably have a bunch of folks share it.
Yep.
So just stay tuned to Facebook.
Absolutely.
For the address and all that kind of cool stuff. So you'll get
one more thing before we go. Shout out to my girl Angie Lawson. She is going to be a sponsor for that event. So really appreciate my girl Angie for stepping up with TC, her business, TNT. TC, absolutely. So she's gonna be a sponsor for that event for us.
Angie killing the game, man. Angie,
absolutely.
We actually did have her on the show. She's killing the game. For those of you who are looking for a transaction coordinator, Angie Lawson is definitely doing some amazing things. She's got the game on lock. So reach out to Angie Lawson. You can reach her on my page. I know she's on your page as well. Angie Lawson. And maybe we'll have her on the show one day just to kind of talk about the how a transaction coordinator, how they actually operate and things like that. So I think that'd be a good show.
Absolutely. Hey, buddy, you want to go ahead and close us out, man?
Yeah, man. Listen, we appreciate you guys hanging out with us each and every Tuesday night from 6 to 7, where we give you the real talk in real estate, the show where we bring the successful real estate agents to the game, and they just drop nuggets each and every week. I'm telling you, if your business is not growing based upon the fact that you're watching this show and seeing the folk who are actually doing it at a high level, giving you the game,
yes,
you're missing it. And we respect you guys for just coming here every week and just rocking out with us every Tuesday night from 6 to 7. So see you next Tuesday, 6 o'clock, right here. Real Talking Real Estate. Chris Allen, my man Maurice, each and every week. We love you guys. We appreciate you. Don't talk about it. Be about it.
Peace.
Peace.